Quantum League is currently in early access, and the content in this video could change at any time. If this happens, I will update this video with an outdated tag and post a new one. Thanks. I don't want to waste your time, so here's the final verdict. If you want to know the reasoning behind the verdict, continue on to the rest of the video, which will explain it farther. Quantum League currently has 5 different weapons to choose from for each clone, and 1 pistol that is consistent through all clones. Because of this, many have asked, which is the definitive best pick, and why? Well, my goal here is to try and answer that question. So, let's start in the obvious place, being the first weapon you can choose, the sniper. The sniper is the hard-hitting, skill-based weapon in Quantum League. This bolt-action sniper comes with a lot of pros, however it does have its drawbacks. In terms of damage, the sniper deals 188 damage per headshot, which is more than enough to take down any enemy clone with 1 headshot. Now in terms of body shot damage, this weapon deals once again a whopping 75 damage, which is enough to take an opponent's clone down in 2 shots from this gun or in 1 to 2 shots from your pistol. However, this gun is not without drawbacks, due to its slow fire rate compared to other weapons, which forces you to hit your shots. Another important drawback is the weapon's interaction without aiming down sights. If you're not aiming down sights, you're going to have issues hitting any shots past 30 meters in front of you. The final con that most people know is the gun has a scope, but you can't use it when you ADS. This is annoying and jarring at first, but after you get used to the lack of the scope, this becomes less of an issue. Due to the sniper's ability to quickly take down enemies at any range, as long as you're scoped in that is, the sniper is placed relatively high in my tier list, or where it belongs, and will probably be placed near A tier. Now on to the next weapon on the list, being the SMG, the all-around good weapon no matter what you're doing. The SMG in terms of damage deals 38 damage to the head, which can kill any enemy in 3 hits to the head in a short amount of time due to the SMG's high fire rate. With body shot damage, the SMG deals 15 damage, which can kill an enemy clone in 9 shots, which is over half the bullets in the gun. The best way to use this gun is to go for headshots, that way you get that high damage. The gun, however, does have some serious drawbacks, being the low damage on the body shot, which can quickly drain the gun's ammo pool, and it's hard to control recoil if you're new to the recoil. Basically, you gotta make sure you're really focusing when you're using this weapon to make sure you don't run out of bullets or miss your opponent completely. Now onto the stat I'm only bringing in for the SMG, the time to kill stat. With the SMG's insane rate of fire, a kill can be achieved by hitting all body shots in only 1/5 of a second. That fire rate is insane. In terms of headshot kill time, the SMG can kill in 3 bullets or in 1/20th of a second, which is just nuts to be able to shred your opponent at any range on the map, since there is no damage drop off in Quantum League. Now onto the actual placing of the SMG. With the SMG having such a high fire rate, low time to kill, and being able to be used at any range with any strategy, the SMG should be your go-to weapon if you don't have a specific plan, even with its drawbacks. Now onto what my personal opinion is the worst weapon ever to exist in Quantum League, the grenade launcher. The grenade launcher is a cool in-concept idea, being a weapon that deals damage over time to anyone within its blast radius, allowing you to kill future clones and past clones with it, doing huge damage over time. However, the issue is that the weapon just sucks to aim. In the footage behind, you can clearly see me trying to hit shots with this weapon on targets that are barely moving, and failing miserably. I even try using the right-click trajectory guide on, which just causes a ton of screen glare and issues. This weapon just feels extremely inconsistent in terms of where the blast radius actually is, and when the weapon will actually do damage or not. In terms of damage, from what I can understand, is that the weapon deals roughly 10 damage for every server tech that you're in the blast, meaning if you're in the blast, which you might even not be able to tell because of how inconsistent it is, you can die extremely quickly. However, if you're fighting someone with a grenade launcher, the chance of them actually hitting you is very low due to how inconsistent the gun is. In terms of its place on the tier list or meta, I'm placing this weapon in F tier, since I don't see this weapon being viable unless you make a specific strategy around the weapon, or practice an intense amount with the weapon to make sure you get those grenade trajectories down, like CSGO grenade setups. Due to this, I can't recommend this weapon to anyone if they're new to the game. Maybe if you're here for a long time and you put a lot of practice into the gun. Otherwise, I can't recommend using this no matter what. Now onto the weapon that's meant for close quarter combat, the shotgun, doing huge amounts of damage in close range. The shotgun, being a shotgun, has multiple pellets that each do damage depending on how many you hit. The shotgun has a total of 8 pellets that do 25 damage on headshot and 10 damage on body shot. The important thing to know is that that weapon does not have any damage drop-off. No matter what range you're shooting at, you'll always do the same amount of damage. Meaning, you can spam this gun from across the map and do 10 damage ticks up to 25 damage ticks if you hit headshots, and slowly whittle down your opponent with a shotgun at long range. The main con of this weapon is the range at which the weapon is viable, and the amount of bullets in the gun being only 4. However, with ADSing, the spread can be tightened to be used at much longer ranges. With the shotgun's ability to do small tick damage at long range and devastating damage at close range, the shotgun is viable when you're planning on dealing damage at close range to the enemy, or if you're planning on doing some tick damage to get clones at longer ranges that you've already whittled down. Because of this, I think it's probably going to be somewhere in B or A tier, or somewhere in the meta along there. Now time for the final gun you have the option of choosing. The laser beam? The laser rifle? I don't really know what to call it, since it shoots a weird beam of like white light. Well, it's a beam, so maybe shooty bang bang laser gun? I think I'm gonna stick with that one. Anyways, the damage on this gun has been greatly increased since the open beta, doing now 25 damage to the head per bullet, ammo, tick, laser, frame. The way the laser rifle does damage is weird. It does 1 hit of damage for every 10 or so ticks you hit your enemy, it seems. However, this could be wrong, but this is just what I found in my testing. Anyways, with the laser doing 25 damage a headshot, you can absolutely melt enemies at close range with headshots, and even body shots, since the body shots do roughly 10 damage every 10 or so ticks. However, the shooty bang bang laser has one major drawback, being its abysmal range of only 20 meters in front of you. That might sound like a lot, but trust me, you'll notice quite quickly how tiny that really is. If your enemy is outside that range, it'll be impossible for you to do any damage to them with your laser beam, forcing you to switch to your pistol. However, despite the shooty bang bang's laser's abysmal range, I still feel this weapon would be B tier or somewhere like that in the meta. I don't think it's completely worthless like the grenade launcher. Now onto the final weapon on the list, being the gun you have every round, the pistol. It's always there for you when you need it. You just gotta swap and you can fall back to that gun to save you. The pistol is your fallback in case anything fails, so its damage needs to be average, which gladly it is. Doing a sizable 40 damage on headshot, you can kill your enemy in 3 hits with this pistol. In terms of body damage, the pistol does 20 damage per body hit, allowing you to kill an enemy with 5 body shots. With that high damage output, the pistol does have a major drawback, being its small ammo pool of only 7 bullets, at which point you will have to reload. Due to this, you should not be using your pistol as a main weapon, but like I said, as your fallback. Rely on your other guns with more ammo and more damage before you fall back to this pistol. With all this in mind, the pistol obviously gets a rating of S tier, since you can't swap off it no matter what. Now onto what the final tier/meta should be in my opinion. The pistol is clearly S tier since you cannot not use it. After the pistol in S tier, we have the SMG and sniper in A tier, since you can use these in almost any situation no matter what the case, with the SMG's high fire rate, large ammo count, allowing you to take enemies out from any range, and the sniper's ability to one-shot and do large amounts of tick damage. These are just always going to be in A tier no matter what. In B tier, I'm putting the shotgun and the laser, since normally you need to be close to do damage with these weapons, but their damage makes up for that fact since they do such high damage in burst and just over time with the laser. However, sadly, in F tier, as cool as a grenade launcher would be, this gun absolutely sucks. It's just so terrible. It's really in need of a buff, and I hope that Nimble Giant will do something about that. And that's the end of the video. If you want more content like this, make sure to like and subscribe, since I should be putting out more informative Quantum League videos. If you want to see me play the game live, I stream on twitch.tv/SafeFirst. Thanks, guys.